Since humans have developed a desire to bury their dead, they have found unique ways to do so. Today, they can be found dotted across the world in all shapes and sizes. And when you bring power and money into the mix, tombs can be as grand as the owner wants. From massive pyramids to underground excavations, stay tuned to number 1 to find out which tomb holds the remains of over 6 million people. Number 10. City of the Dead, Northern Ossetia, Russia. We have a lot of famous sites on this list, but this first one is likely to be the least well known. Located near the village of Dargovs, this site is often referred to as the City of the Dead. However, it is worth highlighting that many other sites across the globe also share this name because necropolis literally means City of the Dead. Nevertheless, there are plenty of unique characteristics to separate this site from others that share its name. First mentioned in the 14th century, this site contains around 100 ancient stone crypts, some of which measure between 6 to 13 feet high. Overlooking the Fiagdon River Valley, the buildings literally look like small houses or huts. As with many other burial sites, this site is shrouded in myths and legends. According to one legend, the plague swept through the area during the 17th century, and victims apparently voluntarily quarantined themselves in the huts and waited to die, their corpses left to rot where they fell. If you want to visit the site today, you will need to be prepared for a long journey, as the site is not easy to reach. Number 9. The Taj Mahal, India. Constructed between 1631 and 1653, the Taj Mahal in India is one of the 7 wonders of the world. Commissioned by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan as a memorial to his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal after her death in 1631, the building is a beautiful monument that is also considered one of the greatest architectural achievements across the range of Indo-Islamic architecture. In places, it is adorned with precious and semi-precious stones from across Asia. Formed of many mausoleums and other buildings, it's the main mausoleum that was created using the famous white marble. While the 2 ornate marble cenotaphs of the emperor and his wife lay in the funerary chamber, the actual sarcophagi rest in much less extravagant crypts. As one of the most visited tourist destinations in India, hundreds if not thousands of people visit every single day. And the mausoleum, with its stunning white marble, is the centerpiece of most of their photographs. Don't forget to take a moment to subscribe below. Also, while you're there, hit that like button for this video. Number 8. Tomb of Tutankhamun. As perhaps the most well-known tomb on this list, the Tomb of Tutankhamun, a pharaoh from the 18th dynasty in ancient Egypt, shocked the world when it was discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter. As one of the few tombs in ancient Egypt that managed to stay under the radar of grave robbers, when it was first opened, people were amazed to find it full of fabulous riches and artifacts. To name just a few of the finds, the tomb contained funeral equipment, statues, sculptures, containers, jewelry, chariots, and more. This discovery enabled archaeologists and Egyptologists to delve deeper into the world of Tutankhamun and to attempt to understand how he died, what his life was like, and why he was buried the way he was. In all, the tomb's discovery was also a monumental find for Egyptologists. Nowadays, investigations are still ongoing, and recent projects have focused on a possible hidden chamber that has yet to be unearthed, but some believe might be the resting place of another royal. In February of 2018, archaeologists started their 3rd round of ground-penetrating radar scanning, and as of right now, we don't have the results of these tests yet, but hopefully we'll learn more about this famous tomb very soon. Number 7. The Flooding Cult Tomb, Peru. Across the different cultures that have existed throughout history, people have found different ways to remove deceased individuals from their community. Whether it's burials in underground tombs, above-ground monuments, cremations, or other more extravagant ways, people have always desired to bury their dead as part of some sort of ritual. The next site adds to the different burial examples known to archaeologists and anthropologists. Just imagine you were excavating a site and you discovered an interesting find, only to dig deeper and find something even more extraordinary. Well, that's exactly what happened to a team of archaeologists excavating a site in the Lambayeque region of Peru. The tomb is believed to be around 800 years old and contained the waterlogged human remains of 4 individuals, one of whom was adorned with artifacts that possibly suggest wealth and status. Some archaeologists have dubbed the find the flooding cult tomb because it was designed to sit below the water table and possibly be deliberately flooded. However, not much is known about the people that this tomb belonged to, or if it was a common burial custom for wealthy or influential people, so most are apprehensive about naming it at all until more research is carried out. Number 6. Pyramid of Menque. The Pyramid of Menque is the smallest of the 3 main pyramids of Giza. Ironically, although it helps to make up one of the most famous ancient sites in the world, most people are likely unaware of some of the stories surrounding this particular tomb. For example, at the end of the 12th century, Saladin's son attempted to destroy the pyramid. However, the workers soon learned how difficult it was going to be just to move the stones. At best, it's believed they could remove only a couple of stones a day, and before long, they realized exactly how expensive it would be to destroy the site, and luckily for us, they gave up their efforts after only 8 months. Today, the pyramid is scarred with a groove down one of its sides, something you don't see in most photographs. The second, widely unknown story linked to the pyramid is that the basalt sarcophagus, which is found deep in the pyramid. It's known that the human remains found within it were female, but no further research is possible because the sarcophagus now lies at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea. A perfect example of the risks early archaeologists took in transporting ancient artifacts to new countries. So the next time you see a picture of the 3 pyramids of Giza, take a moment to note the smallest of the 3. Number 5. Paris Catacombs. This is by far the biggest tomb in the world, containing the remains of over 6 million people. The catacombs of Paris were constructed in a small part of the tunnel network that was created to consolidate the area's ancient stone mines. Unlike the other tombs on this list, which are either single or couple tombs encased in a grand monument, or a tomb for kings, pharaohs, or emperors, this tomb was created to house the ever-increasing number of dead people in Paris during the 18th century. The cemeteries were overflowing, and some gruesome wall collapses in 1774 was the final push that got people thinking about how they were going to deal with the increasing amounts of dead bodies. Not a problem you'd want to have to deal with. Starting in 1786, wagons full of remains were carted from across Paris to be housed in the catacombs. Once enough room had been freed up, the catacombs were no longer receiving any new guests, and it remained largely forgotten about until it became a novelty place for visitors in the 19th century. Today, it is one of the most visited sites in Paris. Number 4. Tomb of Agamemnon, Greece. Situated on a hill in Mycenae, Greece, the tomb of Agamemnon is a Bronze Age tholos tomb. Built around 1250 BCE, the monument is also called the Treasury of Atreus. However, as with many of these ancient tombs, there isn't enough evidence to suggest that the tomb was actually linked to Atreus or Agamemnon. The name was given by Heinrich Schliemann, the famous archaeologist who discovered many ancient sites. However, today, most archaeologists believe the rulers buried in the tombs ruled at an earlier date. The building itself is magnificent, and visitors are left wondering how it was possible for ancient Greeks to move some of the stones used, especially considering the site contains one of the largest lintel stones in the world, weighing 120 tons, and to think that used to sit above the doorway. Yet, as we've seen in an earlier video of megalithic structures, our ancient ancestors had remarkable skills for their day. Number 3. Tomb of Emperor Nintoku, Japan. Have you ever wondered what a tomb shaped like a keyhole would look like? Well, probably not. It is an odd design to use. Well, the tomb of Emperor Nintoku of Japan has been designed and shaped so that it looks like one from above. As one of the 3 largest tombs in the world, it was built during the middle of the 5th century and is locally referred to as Goryo-san or Nintoku-san. But ironically, there is no evidence to indicate that it was in fact Emperor Nintoku's tomb. Nevertheless, the sheer scale of it suggests it was undoubtedly dedicated to the person with the highest power in Japan at the time. The The tomb measures a staggering 531 yards in length, about 335 yards wide and 41 yards high. Due to its design and scale, if you were walking on the ground, you would only see a small hill and you'd never guess at its keyhole design. But there is no mistaking the design once it's viewed from above. Number 2. KV5, Egypt. It's no surprise we're returning to Egypt with the next tomb, because let's face it, Egypt is full of amazing tombs. The next one is situated in the Valley of the Kings in a stark contrast to the pyramids. KV5 is one of many tombs buried into the sides on hills and deep into the ground. The Valley of the Kings is situated across the river from the town of Luxor, known to the Greeks as Thebes, and was the burial place for the pharaohs of the Middle and New Kingdoms. Unlike the other tombs on this list, this tomb is a resting place of several sons of Ramses II. However, it is worth noting that the tomb was likely used by someone else before it was taken to be used for Ramses' sons. Although it's not as extravagant as some of the others on this list, it is remarkable for its size and one of the largest tombs in the Valley of Kings. So far, 121 corridors and chambers have been discovered, and it's possible that there's still more to find. Number 1. Tomb of Qin Shi Huangdi. While you might not immediately recognize the name Qin Shi Huangdi or understand its significance, it's highly likely you will know about its contents. This tomb contains some of the most famous artifacts ever found, the Terracotta Army. So who was Qin Shi Huangdi? Well, he famously unified China under one ruler and founded the Qin dynasty. He is literally the first emperor of Qin. First discovered when some unsuspecting farmers were digging in a field nearby, they initially didn't understand the importance of the find and started selling pieces to local cultural organizations. Thankfully, after a bit of research, some professionals quickly realized how important the site might be, and within months of the initial discovery, teams of archaeologists were undertaking the first excavations. Since then, around 7,000 terracotta warriors, horses, and weapons, as well as wooden battle chariots, have been excavated. Archaeologists and other professionals have since been busy investigating and researching the finds. Not only have they found that many, if not all of the figurines are unique, some have even speculated that foreign artists might have inspired some of the designs due to European DNA found in skeletons excavated close to the site. Today, much of the site remains unexcavated, and due to local authorities being apprehensive about digging up any more, it's likely parts of this tomb will remain a mystery, one only explored through modern technology instead of good old-fashioned excavations. Tell us what you think about these tombs in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.